thing. Again, I go around the country, like when I went to San Francisco and Oakland, black city. I didn't see a lot of black people out and about. You go to a special event, you'll see black people. But just in the downtown area, just out and about, you just don't see us like that. Where did the black people go?
All right, before I get into the topic, I want to speak on this. If you're a black American living in America and you decide, hey, I don't want to stay in the state of Colorado, I want to move to Texas. So you move to Texas. That is not considered fleeing because you are staying within the confinements of America. You're still within America, so you're not fleeing. Another example, if you're in Africa, let's say you're in Zimbabwe, and you decide that you want to move to Djibouti, somewhere in Africa. So you move to Djibouti. That is not considered fleeing. Why? Because you are still within the confinements of Africa. But let's say this, not but let's say this. If you are in Africa and you decide, man, I don't like what was going on out here. It's too hard. I feel I don't want to fight to make things better. I want to move to a location in which they've already fought and made things better, such as America, and you move to America. That is considered fleeing because you're not staying within the confinements of the location in which is your homeland, which is Africa. So you fled. And what I equate fleeing with is being a coward. You're a coward, or your family or your bloodline are cowards. So you're a part of a family of cowards. Now, this doesn't just equate to black immigrants. This equates to Asians, Mexicans, Middle Eastern, any group that is out in America that wasn't a white American and a black American, since those were the two original groups out here in America. Now, I understand a very few of you do respect us black Americans and our ancestors, but it doesn't change the fact that you still are a part of fleers. So, why we focus on black immigrants or African Americans is because you can easily camouflage yourself as one of us. The other groups can't. We can pinpoint easily because they aren't us and they don't look like us. You, on the other hand, can and have. And whenever it's something positive, you always make it known that you're not us. But when it's something negative, then that's when you go ahead and put that disguise on and say you're a black American. Anyway, let's talk about the topic at hand. Where are all the black people in California? To be straight up with you, most of us are just staying hidden out of the way. That's pretty much it. And also, a lot of us are leaving. Some of us are just trying to save up our coins and then find a state that has more black people in it or has a better situation in which we see, and then move and leave and live out in that state. That's pretty much the gist of it. Most of the black people who are doing that are pretty much black people who actually care. It's interesting that Tariq discussed where are all the black people gone, specifically in San Francisco, because I was going to do a video back then, which I did a short instead, but I did have some footage back then of when I was going to do that video, and he then discussed it. So here it is. The cost of living out here is bad and everything else. The pay is not so great. You'll end up having to work 2, maybe 3 jobs in order to be able to stay in an apartment that says you need to make at least 3 or 4 times the rent. in order to stay in that apartment, but then you're working so much that you're paying for a place that you're barely even in, or you'll end up working one job and living out of your car, or the other is you're just homeless and you're on the streets. And also with saying that, it's hard to come by. Work is hard to come by, especially for black people, specifically for black men. Black women tend to be able to find work a lot easier. Why they hire more black females than black males? Because it promotes that whole black women, you're doing better than black men. You don't need them.
Step in as our man. And they only do that, as I said, for the two reasons: to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him, to destroy his little ego that he got left, and to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it.
Say, hey, if I'm doing better than you, then I don't need you, or I'm going to disrespect the fuck out of you, even if you're a man. So, like biracials, you have a lot of biracials, and specifically, I would say you now have an increase of Miles Moraleses. If you don't know who that is, it's one of the Spider-Man characters. And this Spider-Man character is specifically a black and Mexican character, even though the depiction of his character doesn't really depict what a black Mexican looks like. It depicts what a black person will potentially look like, but not a black Mexican. Their features are a little bit different that are very noticeable. Typically, you'll see a lot of biracials because you have a lot of black females out here getting raw dogged by either Mexicans, Asians, or white dudes. The only time that you would see a black couple is like a rare occurrence. It's rare. It's like a rare Pokemon. And typically with the black couples, you'll either see a black man with either a half black female, or very rare is you'll see a black man with a black female. Usually the couples that you most likely see are the older generation. They're the older cats, and it's not so many of them. But yeah. And then of course you have the swirler and divester scene, where it's a lot of black females who are basically swirling and divesting out with other groups. The numbers are a lot bigger out in California, even though I've gone to other states and I've seen a lot of biracial individuals in other states that I'll eventually soon talk about that. So it is surprising. So that it's not, I thought it wasn't a big thing in more blacker states. But it still kind of is somewhat. It's just more black people, so it kind of makes it non-noticeable, I guess. Yeah, you'll have that going on. So a lot of the population is basically being mixed out. So a lot of them are just putting others. Some who are considered others, I mean, they're biracials. Sometimes they'll claim black and put black on the census, but for the most part, you'll see a lot of mixing out. Now I'm gonna say this because I stick to my guns with this. Any black female that is not from California, that comes from a whole nother state, I'm saying this because I listened to one of his Tariq's broadcasts, and it was a woman who said she was from a whole nother state and she was recently staying in California, and saying she's doing great, and basically she was in Long Beach, and saying she wants a black man, she's looking for a black man, or she only dates black men. It was a straight up lie that she said. I have a short, I'll kind of flash.
That's what she desires, black men only.
I prefer African American, but my daughter's father was white.
I'm happy I asked that. So your husband was a white man.
My ex-husband, yeah.
So your ex-husband was a white man.
Yeah, European white, yes.
This is the man that you came home to. Was he in bed with another white woman?
No.
It was a black woman?
Yeah.
A lot of black females, they'll lie and say they want a black man, but they will have no black man on their arm or around them or dating any of them, but they'll be over getting fucked by a white dude or a Mexican or an Asian. And then they'll pop out a half-breed baby, and then still they'll continue to act like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a black man. But no, out here in California, I will tell you straight up that any female that is not from here and is coming to California is looking to swirl, because even the females that are from here are swirling as well. Like I said, majority of them are swirling, and the only time period where they decide they want to finally get a black man is usually by the time they get older. They're now in their 40s, and now it's like nobody really wants to fuck with you anyway. You can't really create a family or anything unless you froze your eggs. And how many dudes want to go who want to do it the unnatural way of having children? So most likely it typically are those older females who now want to have a black man, and now they're searching, and now they're having a hard time because most of the black men are looking at you like, bitch, we know you used up all them good times on other racial groups, and now all of a sudden you want to, so no, you're going to be one of our side pieces. And believe me, there's a lot of the ones who are older or even younger who are now with dudes, and they speak like that, right? They're side pieces to a lot of these dudes because they already know what you've been doing. So yeah, most of the chicks out here are swirling, and I don't understand. Tariq should know this because he damn near had a cast worth of just swirlers. He created the Ism Radio. I was one of the ones who tuned in when it first aired, and it was back when he had some biracial, half black, half white chick on there who was outright open to say she was with a white dude. She was dating a white dude, which is okay. She was dating a white dude because she's half black, half white. Her mom was the divester. She was the swirler, or she was the bed wench back then, what was called. She was the bed wench. She was just the daughter of a bed wench. So yeah, and then Tariq was trying to convert her back to wanting to be with black, but like I said, that didn't work because the audience didn't like her anyway. Like I said, it's like, you ain't with black, then fuck, what are you doing on here? We don't need you. Go back over there on the fence and stay over there. Be happy. We don't need y'all in our spaces. And you'll constantly see that the swirlers and divestors come back over to black spaces because they can't say anything over in those other group spaces, or they'll get punished for it. But anyway, he should know a lot of this. The Sarah person who was on this thing, who was the undercover swirler, who was all promoting this blackety black stuff, wanted black love, wanted black men, wanted black families, and in the background she over here getting fucked by white dudes. And then the one who was from a whole nother state, Chicago, came out here, and she kept letting on that she ain't really seeking no black dudes. She out there fiddling with some Mexicans and type shit. So ultimately, if you ever hear any black female who ever decides to want to come out here, even for a short time, live here, come out here, put her on the list of she ain't for the black community no more. She wants to swirl, divest, do all that, so she ain't about black anything. To sum it up, most of the black people, we're just staying hidden, staying out of the way, and doing what we can to either get our coins up and bounce, or if we're stuck in California, to try to make our situation a little bit less stressful by staying out of the way.